We always see the victory lap, right? That big moment of triumph. But what about all those miles run in the dark when no one was watching? The real story of success, it's not written at the finish line. It's forged in those silent, unseen moments that never get any applause. And that's exactly what we're going to get into today, the silent ascent.
This just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's like that classic iceberg illusion. Everybody sees the tip of the iceberg, the success, the win, the crown. But they completely miss the massive foundation of work, of failure, of just pure persistence that's hidden under the water. This whole explainer, it's about that hidden part.
All right, so let's start where it all really begins, in private. In those quiet, intense moments of effort that nobody else ever sees. This is the foundation. This is the unseen struggle.
And that is such a crucial distinction. See, made kind of implies something passive, like it just happens to you. But forged, that brings to mind intense heat, deliberate pressure, a powerful transformation. Real strength, the kind that actually lasts, isn't found when things are easy. No, it's hammered into shape by adversity.
This is pretty much the recipe for greatness. It's not about trying to dodge the hard stuff. It's about using it, transforming it. Silence? That becomes your sanctuary, where you can do your deep work. Pressure? That's the catalyst, the thing that sparks your breakthroughs. And pain? Well, pain becomes your greatest teacher, forging a kind of resilience that you just can't buy or borrow.
And this lays it out perfectly. It shows the two very different paths you can take. While a lot of the world is distracted, complaining about their situation or just passively resting, the person on the path to greatness is using that exact same time actively. They're not just waiting for an opportunity to show up, they're preparing for it, sharpening their number one asset, their own mind.
Okay, so let's move on, because that external struggle we just talked about, it can only be sustained by something strong on the inside, an unbreakable internal framework. And it all boils down to one thing, the discipline within.
So here's the bottom line. If you're waiting for someone else to cheer you on, you're going to be waiting a very long time. This journey is often a lonely one. Your motivation has to come from inside. It has to come from a place that doesn't care about getting a pat on the back.
And this is the question you really have to ask yourself, right? If it's not applause, if it's not validation from other people, then what is that relentless internal force that's going to keep you going when absolutely no one is watching?
And here's the answer. It's discipline. But let's reframe that word for a second. This isn't about punishment or being hard on yourself. Think of it as this powerful, quiet engine that runs purely on commitment. It's the promise you make to yourself, and it's the only thing you can rely on when that fleeting feeling of motivation disappears. Think of this as the blueprint for building your own inner empire. It all starts with you, with a solid foundation of self-improvement. From there, you learn to become the master of your own mind, not a slave to your emotions. And then finally, discipline stops being a chore and becomes a daily choice, a ritual where you honor the commitment you've made to yourself.
So once that internal engine is up and running, it starts to show on the outside, but probably not in the way you'd expect. The ascent isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, it's deliberate, and it's incredibly powerful. This is what that inner strength looks like out in the world. It's not about grand gestures. It's about a quiet, powerful presence. Standing straight, that's not just about posture. It's a silent declaration of your own self-respect. Speaking less, that's not about being shy. It's about having the wisdom to listen and to let your actions do all the talking. And working more? Well, that's the simple, brutal truth that separates the people who want it from the people who get it.
Just think about the nature of true power for a second. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It doesn't scream for attention or recognition because kings are not born loud.
They rise dangerously quiet. And that word, dangerously, that's the key. It speaks to a kind of power that's been underestimated, a focus that's been honed in total silence. It's the quiet confidence of someone who has absolutely nothing to prove, because the work, it's already done. But what happens when that silent ascent actually gets you to the top? The journey isn't over, not even close. In fact, you could say the hardest part has just begun, because now you have to bear the weight of the crown. And to bear that weight, you have to learn to see the world differently. You have to totally reframe every obstacle, every single setback, and every moment of doubt, not as a failure, but as just another part of the process.
This right here is the mindset of a king. It's not about changing what happens to you, it's about changing the meaning you give to it. Every loss, that's a lesson in strategy. Every delay, that's just extra training time. And the loneliness? That's not a sign you're isolated, it's proof that you're on a path so demanding that very few would ever dare to walk it.
And this is really the ultimate takeaway. The entire journey, the struggle, the discipline, the quiet work, it's all been for one single purpose: to build a mind that is strong enough to handle the pressure, the responsibility, and the immense weight of success.
So, as we wrap this up, I'll leave you with this question. Whatever your crown is, your goals, your ambitions, your responsibilities, it has weight. So what have you forged in the silence that makes your mind strong enough to carry it?